Hi guys, it is our first class of full stack web developer, and we start with installation of VS Code and introduction to HTML language, and then we proceed to CSS, JavaScript, databases, PHP, etc., and go on. So if you start with front end, it is okay too because it is the most easiest part in the web development course. Back end is little bit difficult, but if you combine these two, you can go to DevOps, and if you combine these three, you can take any project. So let's start it without wasting any time. So it is a theoretical part. Mean to say that if you want to copy it, it's on you. But HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's all. Mean to say it is a language of tags. So how can we evaluate it? So it's mean to say that if you know that it is h1 tag and it is the closing tag. So every tag has a start and also has to end. Mean to say if you start an tag, you must end it with this bar as you see. And h1 means heading 1, h1, h2, h3, h4 and p4 paragraph. It's mean to say every tag has its own name with a startup, so it is easy to understand. So if you know about tags, that's all. So how can we write our first code? So we write our first code in VS Code, and all of these will be automatically launched in VS Code. It is known as boilerplate. You don't need to run this code or write all of it. You only need to write this part of the code or sometime this. So because it is a first class and we also know about that we are in our basic stage, so we just focus on these tags. So if you write the code in notepad etc, it is difficult for you, so VS Code is best option. So how to install it, how to set up it, I will tell you. But if you does not want to set up a VS Code, I also tell you that there is a website known as CodePen. You can also do that, but it is best for you to have a VS Code because it is your website and you have some type of privacy also it, so you can later sell it on theme forest and etc. So let's go to install VS Code. So I am in a Google, just write it VS Code. As you mention VS Code, just go there. I have Windows, so download for Windows. They ask you about the setup and tell you how you install it etc. Just install it. It's depend upon your internet speed and how often you install it. So we just download the VS Code. Now double click it. It will take some time. Just I accept the agreement. Next, they will ask you where to install it. I will install in C. Go on, create a desktop icon, registered as vcode. You just know that, just know these two must be checked, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now install it. It will take some time to install, depend upon your computer. As you know, our VS Code is installed. Just launch it. And so guys, here is our VS Code. First you need to open a folder. So open a folder. I will select HTML practice. I have many folder, but I will select it HTML practice. Here it comes. Now create. If you want to create a folder in a folder, it's your choice. If you want to create a file, just name the file जैसे tut1.html. Just remember, .html must be written, so it is an extension used for HTML. Now I will tell you a shortcut: shift exclamation sign, just press tab, and here is your HTML boilerplate. Does it look good? You don't need to write anything. All our work is here. Now, as you know, we put a tag. They will give me an options, so I don't need to write a whole code, but for you I will write each one. Now press tab, it will go. So we write it, and it automatically complete the tag. I name the tag my first code, and that's all. Now I need another tag. I just exclamation sign p tag close and all of it. Now you can write it anything, just like that, just like that. It is my first code. So the main thing is, how can we preview our code? So there is nothing else here in which we can preview our code. So just click it and nothing else. You can make it 1 and 2. So we need an extension. So how can we install extension? Just go there, click it. The extension name is preview. Just write it down, preview. Here is live preview. Just click it, install it. When you install it, it will take some time. After the installation, now you have a preview options. Just click it. Here you can see show preview. Okay, so I have to close this window. Just close all, close save, enable preview, etc, etc. So why would I create 2 or 3 windows? Okay, let's go to normal one. So it's on you. You can write HTML here, CSS here, and the code will show there. So my first code is in our HTML and it is our paragraph. So mean to say, if I have to change code 1, as you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the changing will take place on both of it. So we have to close this one. 3, it will make copies as many as you want, and close out. Okay, so it is easy for you. So you can manage like that, or you want to hide it and close all that, it's upon you. So it is our first code, and it is our first HTML code, how to write it, and that is for it. For now on, we can. And the last one and the most important one is title. As you can mention here, you look out, name it document. So we can change it and name it tut1. As you can see, it is changed. You can also change the icon, which is known as favicon, but because it is our first class, so I can emphasis on just one thing, that you should remember about tags. If the boilerplate cannot come up automatically, you can watch the video again, or you can write all this code by your hand. It's on you. So have a nice day, and see you in next video, in which we can cover about more tags. So it is 4 to 5 video to learn about HTML, beginner to advanced level. That's all. It is not as difficult language as you thought about. It is the most simplest language in coding. Okay, take care and bye. Hi guys, it is our second tutorial video, in which we have to read about heading, paragraph, formatting, comments and style. So what is the most important thing? As I mentioned earlier, we have many headings, but the most biggest one is H1. It means to say this heading and this heading is H1 heading. If you change it to H2, H3, H4, as the number got bigger, the heading become shorter. So we can have an example of this, but let's go to other screen. So as you know, paragraph represented by P tag, HR tag mean horizontal line, and BR tag mean line break. All these tag will be used in HTML language, and I can show you with example, but it is just for a theory purpose. So B for bold, I for italic, M for mark, and many more. And you can also write comments. So should we go to the practical part? Yes, why not? So guys, let's start it. First of all, I have to write exclamation sign, press tab, and here is our boilerplate. All our work is done in the body section. So what can we do now? We will use exclamation sign H1, make it close, and here is our first H1 heading. So we write it, this is heading. Okay, right now we go down and we should create a p tag which is known as paragraph. And what would we can write here? This is a text. So as you can see, I am writing here, there is not a single chain here. And why would it? So just refresh it, that's all. So what can we do now? Okay guys, so it is a p tag, and now we use hr tag, which is known as horizontal tag. What would this tag do? Mean to say hr, just close the tag and press enter. As you can see, there is a line. Okay, or if I use br tag between them, br mean to say line break. As you can see, this is our text, the line is broken, that's all. So HTML is basically a language of tags. As many tags as you want to learn, you can use it. It is very simple, but there is something you need to know about the style and CSS especially. So we will proceed to the attribute tag. Mean to say, attribute is a addition of a tag into a tag. I can explain you with an example. So here is our HTML attributes. Attributes can have all HTML element have attributes. Attribute provide additional information about element. Attributes are always specific in starter tag. It means to say that you can add some qualification or some attributes in a starting of a tag. Mean to say, in a opening tag you add some information which can improve the tag, and I will show you with an example because example can explain it better. So we should go to our VS Code. So guys, here is the example of attribute tag. First of all, we have to create a href tag which is known as this a. Then we can add an attribute. And how can we add an attribute? Just href. It's mean to say that it has some type of address, just like Google or Facebook. So how can we add it? Just write the web address, http. As I mentioned earlier, I am writing it like https www.google.com. Anything else missing? No. So it is address, but we need to write something here that we click and that address link us to Google. It's mean to say that click me or anything else. As I write click me, it will write, and when I hover over it and I click it, it will straightly go to Google. This is heading, this is attacks, and etc etc. Okay guys, so we can use it as many things, as like mean to say that href tag also used for switching a position between web pages. Mean to say, you can jump from one page to another page but just click on a specific link or a target. And because it is a beginner class, so I cannot explain in detail, but just explain it enough so you can understand it. How can we make a website? So now we have CSS. CSS is the brother language of HTML. Just like HTML, CSS help HTML to make it more colorful, more vibrant, and it has the power to use or shift HTML elements one place to another place. It's mean to say that you have, if you know about HTML and CSS, you almost complete 80% of your web page. JavaScript is act like a brain. So CSS is the most essential language which can beautify your HTML elements. So there are three types to use CSS. Mean to say, CSS is a single language, but you have three ways to use it. First of all, it is inline, second is it is internal, and third one is external. So we will proceed with all of three, but first of all, theory first. If you want to use inline, you just need to go to that tag and that tag you need a style tag in it, just like an attribute we used recently with a tag. Specify their color blue, so it's mean to say this whole heading turned into a blue color. Or just like that, in internal css you can use all of it, but this time you cannot use here. You use it in a style tag which is situated between head tag. So as I mentioned earlier, you can use style tag. In style tag you will define any color or any location you want to define, just like you define it that the body should be a background color of powder blue and h1 tag color will be blue and paragraphs are red, so they implement it. Or the most useful one is external css. In this you cannot use it in tags or in a body or in a head. You make an other file of css just like an html, and where you change all the changes and link that file to html. It means to say that we use only a link or a reference to that file which have css properties and which can change all these things. So we should go to our VS Code for the practical. Okay guys, for inline CS we can change in anything, just like this tag h1. So how can we change it? Just like an attribute property, you can go there, just type style, it will show you something like that. Press tab and it will ask you what do you wanna do with it. I just want to change the color. You can write it or select it. They want you to ask about the color. I will turn it into blue and let's see it will have changed or not. Yeah, it is turned into blue. So it is called internal css. So what would we like inline css, and then we should go for the internal one. If you want to change something like this text, a text, so first of all I have to remove it via tag, so it is just like a line. Then we go to head. After that just press enter, make a style tag. As I mentioned earlier, VS Code help us automatically close the tag, and in this tag we just need a reference to do it. Mean to say, if I want to change in a paragraph tag, I just put a p, okay, and space, use brackets and just write the color. As I mentioned earlier, color select, and I will turn it into weak. Okay, you can't see that color, so change it to something like red. Okay, read red. Okay, here is the red one. As you can see, the color is changed. And the third and the most accurate one which we use in our project is known as external css, and the example is here you have. Okay guys, first of all we have to create another file known as style.css. okay, when we create that file we have to go for it, like I have to change the body, so I just type body space bracket and background color. So I have to change the background, I have to select the background color, mean to say all the background tone should be aqueous. Okay, and we have to change another thing. It's okay, you can do this. Mean to say I want to change h1 heading into like color, so color would be blue violet. Okay, so let's see, there is a change? No, there is not a change because I have not linked it yet, so I have to link it first. So how can I link it? It is very simple. First of all, there is a precedent between the css, so I have to remove this one, so it cannot contradiction with each other. So what we like to just type link they will ask you about which you want to link rel. Okay, then they want the style sheet name. Tell him about it is a style sheet, so it can identify it as a style sheet. Then after you write it style sheet, give them a link which is href. Okay, sorry, does not write in it, just outside the columns href, and after href just write the name. And what is the name of the sheet? Style. Okay, styles and then dot css. As you can see, the whole background is changed. So let's change something else. I write the h1 color will be ultra blue, but it does not have an effect because inline CSS have a priority over external CSS. So I have to remove it from here. So just remove it. Now can you see? Now you can see h1 heading turn into ultraviolet. So that's all. Yeah, it is very basics, and I teach you with example and theory both, because everyone has their own type of learning, so I try my best to teach you. So see you in third tutorial. Take care, bye. Hi guys, it is our third tutorial in which we have to learn about HTML block and inline elements. So what are the difference between block and inline elements? First of all, the theory part. Every HTML has a default display value depending on what type of element it is. Mean to say that they are most common element are block and inline. Block mean it will stretch out left and right as far as it can, and inline mean it will not stretch out, it take only that place in which he is situated. It mean to say that if we go for the example of block element, so if we write style border etc and write these all element, the paragraph will take all the line. So it's mean to say that we need an example to understand it better. So let's go to our VS Code. So guys, here is our VS Code. So now we can start writing. First of all, we need a p tag. It mean to say paragraph tag. So write something like hello world, the most common phrase we use. Okay, and it should write like that, but you can't understand it until I have some changes in it. I will use style tag, which probably I will not use style tag and use border property, so you can understand it better with the pixel border property with 1 pixel. Okay, and it should be solid, because and what is this? This is all CSS, and we can read about it, learn about it, but not right now. We are just focusing on HTML. So as you can see, hello world has occupied all the space, mean to say that you cannot write anything in this space. When you use CSS, you have to manipulate some of it to maintain the order, but for this purpose I will tell you that this is a block line element. So what is inline element? First theory, then we come for example. So the inline element does not start with a new line. You can have it anywhere, anytime in the paragraph or anything in a container, etc. I try to explain it more simply because I don't want you to misunderstood and combine inline and block elements. So we should go straight to VS. So here we need another p tag. Okay, this is inline hello world. So we use inline command here, and which is known as span, mean to say that if we use span, here it's come span tag, and write anything between them, mean to say we write it hello hickey 123. As you can see, it is shown here as inline. It cannot contain all the space, mean to say if it is a block element, it will start through a new line and contain all the space. But inline option, which is known as span option, also help you to write the words in a line. It will not take any space and not stretch out and take all these spaces. So these both have their own diversity to use, but the most used element is div, and I will show you here how can we use div element. So guys, the most important tag is div. It is just like a container in which you can use anything. So divs are used mostly in HTML tags or HTML language. So it is the most useful, and you can see div command in most of the code. So I will teach you how to use div with the most simplest method as I can. Okay guys, now let's start with div. We should need a div close tag, and now we can use h2, write it second command, so going down use p tag. This is div use in command. Okay, now how can we differentiate between a div and a simple? So I can show you how div works. I just put a style in it so you can see the difference. If I go there, or I use a old method like style tag, I should use style tag. I will prefer it because it is easy to use. Style tag, oh sorry, bracket. Now what would I write? I write div space bracket options. They will ask me what you want to do. I will increase its width with approximately 300 pixel, and also increase margin. And what is margin, I will tell you when I teach you CSS, but right now you can consider it as a simple spacing, so you can clearly differentiate between them. Then a background color would be like blue. Now you can understand it. When I use command width 300 pixel, it will place it into 300 pixel compared to that. Okay, I think it will confusing you, so I will remove it. Now it will clear. As you can see, div act like a container, contain all in it in blue. It mean to say anything which is div will take effect. Mean to say that if you make a div container 1 2 3 4 5 6 and multiple divs, so you can contrast them, color them differently, you can place them differently. It is easy for you to use it differently. So div have a wide range, but because it is a beginner class, so I cannot go into detail. Thank you. Hi guys, in this tutorial we know about HTML class attributes. It's mean to say that how we use classes and ID in HTML. So for classes, class means you can use this class like if you know about something about code like C++ and JavaScript, you know about classes. But if you are new, I can tell you that class is a group of things. Mean to say that to create a class you need a dot character followed by the class name, that's all. Mean to say that, as I mentioned here, if you want to use a class, for example, that here I use a class named city. So h2 class city London, and here I again use h2 class city Paris. So I use the class word two times. So why I use class? I use this class word to identify that in CSS I can change it at one time. Mean to say, if I have to use multiple effects on multiple things, I don't want to read a code again and again to take effect. I just use a class on all these objects and use CSS for one class, and it can change all the objects, and the code would be very comprehensive and short. So I will explain you further with an example in VS Code. So I think so we should go to our VS Code. So now guys, our VS Code and a boilerplate is already ready, so we can go to our body. Where would we write a code with the help of div? I can write a div. Okay, so in a div you have to create first of all a class. So how can you create a class? You can use div attribute, mean to say that div class, and here you name it like I name it city. Easy more for me to remember, you can name it anything. Okay, now use h2. Because of the VS Code I should not write any longer code. I just type h2 and press enter, and it will do the work. I name it London. Okay, it's mean to say London, not London. Okay, London, and here we go down. I will use p tag as you mentioned. Here is the p tag, and London is a great city. Okay, so here is I create one div, so I should go down and create another div. I mentioned your div is the container. You can create as many as you want. Same method, write a class tab, name it city, and inside a div press h2, I mean to say h2, and London, then I write it Paris. Go down, press p tag, enter, and write it Paris is also a great city. Okay, now I have two classes with the same name but different things. I want to apply CSN on both of them. So here is the catch. If I create a class, so what is the use of class? Mainly CSS use that class. So mean to say, creating a class in HTML will help CSS, mean to say the other language, to interact with it. How can we do this? So here is the example I will show you. Okay guys, here is our style tag. In a style tag we put comma city, mean to say the class name, which I name it city, just brackets. That's all you have to do. So what do we do now? We now just change the background color, border, margin, etc. Now start with background. I just name it background. Color would be blue. Okay, changing will take place. I will change the color would be white. Okay, right now I will change the border would be 2 pixels solid. Okay, now I have to go down and add some Margin or padding? I think so, margin and padding. I should not use margin and padding right now, because most of the people does not know about what is margin and padding until they understand CSS. So here is it, our simple class module. So what about the ID module? Mean to say these are comprehensive and always compete each other, class module and ID module. So first of all we need some theory about ID, then we come into CSS, and with the help of example we learn about it. So let's go to our theory section. So in our ID module, mean to say the syntax of ID is right with the hash character followed by an ID name. A class name can be used as multiple HTML elements, but ID must only be one and only one. You cannot use multiple ID. Mean to say I cannot use my header one time, second time, third time, as I use city two times. I only use header only one time, that's all. So it will restrict it, and mainly this option is used to creating our taskbars or our top bar, left bar, menus, and etc, because as you know menus are fixed, so ID is best option to create menus. But I will tell you, when we create our first official website, it is a gym website or etc, but for a beginner page, as you know, here is a code in front of you. So what is the change in a code? As you see, I just put h1 ID tag with it and place it my header, that's all. The name display will be my header. Now I have some apply some CSS on it, so it can change its color, background, padding, and text line, etc. So now we should go in our VS Code to take ID there. So guys, we now start with our ID. First of all, I have some h2 headings, and this is ID, and now see what happened next. Okay, I always remember this, but now I have to go down, and let's suppose I have to set my ID. I put h1 tag, okay, tag closed. Now I have put my header, and where would we apply? Always class and ID in attribute section. So it means to say, if we go the first tag, put ID command in it, press tab, and name it my header, and try to minimize the space so it is easy to understand for you that it is an ID. Now as you can see, we have our ID. So how can we use it in CSS? So we use in style tag. We go in style tag first of all. Now we use our hash command, and my header is implemented. As you know, all things are same. The most easy language is known Azure. It will take effect, I think so. You cannot saw the cover, then we change it to red one. Now you can see it. Okay, and also change the color of the I set it to this. Now what can I change further? I further change text alignment. Okay, the text alignment should be center. As you can see, we read about block element, so it is a block element. It is take all the space from right to left, so you can move here and there, it's on you. So that's called ID. So right now for enough, and next lesson we read about tables and then forms, and that's all for the HTML. Then we jump to CSS. Okay, take care, bye. Hi guys, so today we learn about HTML tables. First one is horizontal and other is vertical. So first we learn about horizontal table. So in table, it is just like tags. If you know about HTML languages or you watch previous videos, so it is the final video for HTML to learn the basics or to make a website. So how can we manage HTML tags or HTML table? So in HTML table we just focus on this HTML tag, and this is closing table tag. So the most important tag is tr tag, which is row, yeah, table row tag. It means to say it represent row, and th means table heading. So this tag represent heading, mean to say this tag is just like a person 1 2 3 4. So this tag represent this line, and these are representing this and other this and other this. So in these tags obviously there are columns too. So next row, so this tag represent next row, and the tag data represent here, here and here. So the third row, the tag data, the tag data and the tag data. So it is very easy to maintain. So we can further evaluate it in our VS Code example. So let's go to our VS Code. So guys, now we have to create a table. So first of all we use table. As I mentioned earlier, the VS Code automatically closes apply closing tag. So now we use table tag, and first we set some attribute like style, and we should increase the width to, I think so, 100%. It is good, 100% is okay. So you can understand it better. Now the first tag is tr, mean to say row. So we select the row. In that first row we have 3 or 2, it's depend upon you, 3 2 4 5 1 2, as many heading as you want. So I set 3 headings. The first heading should be person 1. The second heading should be person 2. I think I would person 2. I think so, that is enough for me. Person 1 and person 2, and you can add as many as you want. Okay, now after that we will use our second row, in which we also put tr tag again. Now you can understand it, what would happen next. Now we put data tag. So data tag represented by dd. As I earlier said, it is easy. So the first name is Amel, and okay, I will arrange it like that, so it is easy for you to understand. Now it is easy. Amel. The second td tag would be hof, if, and that's it. So as you can see, they are not fully arranged. Why would they are not fully arranged? Because I have put the width, so I have to remove it. Now you can take it, the effect. Okay, now let's go to, I think so I should remove the width because it will manipulate the target very unhealthy and you can't understand it well. Now you can understand it. Okay, I will put the borders and make it prettier so you can further evaluate it. But now I have to add an other row. It is better for us to add an other row, so I name it 14. Go down td and 16. So as many column and many row as you want, you can add. Now the most interesting part is coming now. We should give them some border. Why would you give them border? In a style tag, head tag, or in an inline head tag, it's depend upon you, or you use external CSS, it's on you. I will use internal CSS, not inline, so I have to use it like table. In table I will use th. In th I will use td. After that I will apply border. It will give me the option of border, and border should be 2 pixel solid. Okay, that's enough. So now you can understand how it's work. Because it is a horizontal table, so you can say that the heading would be horizontally. If you want a vertical table, yeah, you can do this, but there is some little bit change in td, th and tr. So it's on you. If you want it, I will draw it for you, or that is enough for you, because mainly you can use it like that. So that's it. See you in the next video.